Hey, garden friends. It is July 15th, 2024. Hard to believe that we're halfway through the month. I'm here at the vegetable garden. I realized I hadn't done a video of what's going on in the Veggie Patch. And so now that the sun's down and it's nice enough out, I thought I would show you. This right here is all potatoes. They've recently showing signs of disease and or dying back, which is par for the course with potatoes at this point in time. They are all planted using the Ruth Stout method, which means basically, here I'll show you. When I planted them in leaves. And so all I have to do to harvest tomatoes is move the leaves and I find baby potatoes. I will never, ever grow potatoes in the ground anymore. It's important. I've tried it several years and I've had the best luck when I plant the potatoes on soil, not in the soil, but on the soil, and then cover them with leaves. I have really good luck, and I've been harvesting baby potatoes for a couple of weeks. Whenever I need them, I just come out and grab some. This row right here was the last to be planted. I've got some green beans that popped up. This is what I used to cover them so the birds didn't get at them while they were sprouting. I need to come in and fill in because spotty germination. I was excited to find a volunteer nasturtium. This is an old mattress, and I will be planting second succession of cucumber here and letting it crawl up. This row right here, let me stand back so you can see, it's all cattle panels, and it's all cherry tomatoes in this row. I didn't mark them here. I do have them marked in my garden journal, but I do know for sure that this is the sun gold. I just harvested some, but you can see they're blushing. So sun gold was the first to come to ripen in the garden. What other plants did I plant? I can't tell you right off the top of my head. What I'm doing is I am taking them and then weaving them through the cattle panel. I used clips last year and they were a pain in the neck. So I'm just weaving the plants in and out of the cattle panel to keep the walkways free. This tomato right here is a volunteer from last year. I did not plant this one. So I let it go. I don't know if it's going to be recognizable or if it's going to be some sort of a hybrid, but it is what it is. Same thing. This row right here is cucumbers, but as you can see, I did leave one or two volunteer tomatoes. I've learned my lesson. In the past, I let all of the volunteer tomatoes grow. That was a mistake because what you get is a tomato jungle. So I allowed one or two here, knowing full well that the lifespan of the cucumber plants that are here isn't going to be the entire summer. So at some point, the cucumbers will die back, and I will remove them and open up space for the tomatoes. I planted two little types of cucumbers. One of them is Parisian and the other is gherkin. And then there are two Bayet alphas in here as well. And again, I'm just kind of weaving tomatoes and cucumbers in and out just to keep the walkways free. Here we have peppers. I ended up growing more peppers this season than I ever have before. I have lots of, oh gosh, they're right here. Hold please. No, that's not this. The green ones. These. Um, I've got a lot of those growing because I make a soup with those. These are just kind of plants from seeds that I had in my stash. Again, I don't know what they are here in the garden. I wrote them down when I planted them, so I just have to go back and look at my garden journal. These look to be jalapenos. These, for some reason, the slugs and earwigs have really enjoyed them. These are doing much better. I did put down Sluggo Plus to try to keep them at bay. Now over here, I can't even tell you how excited I am about these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dwarf tomatoes right here. And they look amazing. There's no sign of disease on them. They are just healthy and they're producing a lot. So I'm really excited about these. Again, I know the varieties in my journal. I can't tell you what they are right here, but yeah, I'm very excited. I've got basil growing in between. It's looking better than it was. This one you can see got pretty chewed up. This one got chewed up too, but it's bouncing back. So I'm excited about that. So these dwarf tomatoes probably won't get all that much more tall, but they will produce tomatoes throughout the year, or the growing season, I should say. And they're not small tomatoes. They're going to be normal sized tomatoes. I mean, you can see here that just because they're dwarf plants doesn't mean that they're baby sized tomatoes. Here, I'm excited about the beans. I don't usually grow pole beans, but this year I am doing a seed trial. I was selected from my national trial, and they sent me 3 types of seeds, and they literally knew nothing about them. They had gotten them from the USDA seed bank, and so they sent everyone in the trial 3 types of seeds and said, grow them and tell us what you find. So this bean is called Batmash, Bhatmash, I think. Clearly, it's a runner. It's trying to run everywhere. The one in the middle is called Calabrese, I think. Not a runner. It's very clearly a bush bean. And then this is Princessa, and it was the first to flower. So somewhere tucked in here, I have seen little tiny green beans forming, and I can't wait until they mature and I can try them and see how big they get, what color the beans are going to be. We just don't know. We've got more peppers here. Again, they're producing, but they're so small, these plants, because of the slugs and the snails. But I was able to get in here and mulch everything before the rain came this weekend. Look at this weedy mess. This is garlic. And then I put in some more cucumber plants here. I'll have to weed around them to make sure that they thrive. But I knew that once the garlic came out, this row would be empty. So I preemptively put the cucumbers in there. The garlic is getting close to harvestable. You can see they're starting to die back, the leaves. I wonder if I dig in here, if I can. No, they're too far down. I might take one up pretty soon and see how big the heads are. More peppers here that have been, you can just tell they've just been eaten. Again, I did put out some Sluggo Plus. These are all volunteer potatoes here. This was a big old kale plant. And the peas, I have not had great luck with peas. I had spotty germination. Some of them came up. I obviously need to weed. There's a ton of spurge in here. But more peppers. Poblanos, that's the word I was looking for. I have a ton of poblano peppers. I have probably a dozen plants here, maybe 8 plants here, and then I have more up at the other house that are growing. This one I could probably pick pretty soon, but the dehydrator is full right now with zucchini, which I have growing at the other location. So there's no room right now for poblanos in there. I have frozen them in the past. This year I'm going to try to dehydrate as many as I can. I use them in soups, so like the texture really doesn't matter. So yeah. But let's just admire the dwarf tomatoes. They are looking so good, and I hope they stay that way. This is the this is the Everleaf Tower basil, which will not go to seed. It won't bolt in the growing season. It's my favorite kind of basil. Just for that reason, you never have to worry about cutting off flowers. It just goes and goes. And look at how the bushy habit. Do you see the bushy habit here? I have not pinched these at all. I haven't harvested any basil yet, and it bushes on its own. So it's a great basil. I'm a big fan. All right, I think that's it for the veggie garden. You can see I still need to get some more grass clippings or mulch or whatever I'm going to use. This past winter, this space was surrounded probably by a 2-foot wall of leaves from our property and the neighbor across the street. And they just break down so fast that, I mean, you can see there are leaves, but it's certainly not the 2-foot wall that we had. So I'll be doing that again next year. Probably we will move the potatoes down to where the garlic is growing next year. So I will pile a bunch of leaves over there. But yeah, that's it. We're going to be inundated pretty soon with cherry tomatoes. We are inundated right now with cucumbers. Note to self, 4 plants is way too many for us. I do try to make pickles and can them and stuff, but I just, we don't need that many. Look at this. I try to get out here every other day to kind of weave them in and out of the netting. Otherwise, the plants come out here into the aisle and it's impossible. So, I don't know if I have any bayed alphas growing to show you. It's a great cucumber. It's self-pollinating. We really don't have a problem here with pollination, but it's good to know that you're going to get cucumbers no matter what. Look at volunteer tomatoes are still coming up. Well, that's it for the veggies. Hopefully I'll be back soon with another update. The cherry tomatoes will obviously continue growing. They'll probably be above the cattle panel by the end of the season. I'm really excited to see what the dwarf tomatoes do. All right, let me know how things are going in your garden. Bye.